There's magic in the air. Emma's got her needles, her threads, her crafty flair, with a hoop in her hand and a smile so wide. She's calling y'all to join the Flosstube tribe. Rose Cottage creates where the stitches come alive. Threads of joy, oh, they'll make your heart thrive. So grab your floss, come laugh, come
Hello, hi everyone, Emma here. Welcome to Rose Cottage Creates. Welcome back a little bit earlier again as planned. I feel like you wait quite a while for one of my videos to come along, and then all of a sudden we've got I think this is about my third one in the space of a month. So yeah, I don't know what's happening lately. But no, hi, welcome. So I wanted to come back to pop on at the end of the year just to give you a catch up, basically all about 2025. So we're going to call it, well, I don't know what we're going to call it, because we've got a fully finished parade, a WIP parade, a complete roundup of 2025, everything basically. So yeah, I thought we'd just talk through the year, let you know all about my journey so far throughout the year, sort of plans and things going into the next year. Yeah, so hi, welcome. It is New Year's Eve. So it is literally the last day of 2025. So I thought how perfect this would be on the final day for me to pop on. And while the remaining Christmas decorations are still up and in sight, it would be it'd make a nice backdrop again for the finishing video, because we don't really keep our decorations up for much longer going into the new year. I know obviously a lot of people keep them up for the 12 days, but I don't know, I always like a new year, a new start, and I want the house back to normal. As much as I've loved having all the decorations up, it's something quite rejuvenating, isn't there, about putting them all away and having a good, I'd say a spring clean, but obviously it's not spring, so just a real good clean and freshen up everywhere. So yes, the last video went down a treat. Everyone was loving Alfie. Alfie popped on to say hi, showing off his little watercolours. So yeah, thank you all. You said some lovely kind words. And he was made up. He's not here today actually. He's gone out with Kev. Kev's been working this morning, and then he's just come home and asked Alfie if he wanted to go and play football. So I thought, right, perfect opportunity. The boys will never miss a chance of going to play football. So I thought, well, that's perfect. While the house is quiet, I can pop on, can't I, and get a video recorded. So yeah, basically, I'm just going to start off by saying thank you, everyone. I know I always say a huge thank you to everyone, but honestly, without you guys, it would be pointless me doing videos and recording, and you know, it's been a whirlwind of a year. So yeah, and it's been amazing. So for anyone that's liked, commented, subscribed, it's incredible. Thank you so much. And obviously going forward, I would love to increase that and sort of grow the channel even more, and hopefully reach out to more people and get more subscribers. So for anyone that has taken the time, truly it really means so much. Thank you so much. So my cross-stitching journey actually only began this year. So the 20th of January I first started cross-stitching. Never ever cross-stitched before. I've done crochet and I've embroidered. I've done embroidery for quite a long time. As you can see, most of the decorations behind me are all embroidered, and all the pillows and things, but never ever picked up cross-stitching, even as a child. Never done it. So I actually only started on the 20th of January, and I was, well, I don't know what I was inspired by, but I knew that I loved the Stacey Nash animal crackers, and that was one of the main pulls, I think, that probably sort of tempted me in, because I love a pattern so much. So I knew I wanted to do one of those. So my very, very first project that I'd started was, I've got lots of notes in front of me because I'm afraid my memory will not remember half of these things today if it wasn't wrote down. So I actually started Primrose, which is a bunny, the Stacey Nash Animal Cracker, and I started that, like I say, on the 20th of January. That was my first go-to cross-stitching project, and then basically it's just evolved from there. So the 26th of March was my very first Flosstube. I don't know, even now to this day, I don't know what made me want to start a Flosstube channel. I don't even know how I come across it. I must have just started watching some as I got into cross stitching, and in a moment of madness just thought, oh, that would be wonderful, why don't I start one and record one? So yeah, like I say, that was the 26th of March that I very first started. So like I say, to have gained so many followers in what I think is quite a short space of time, really, it's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So fast forward throughout the year, I have, well, let me just tell you the facts. So I've got 17 fully finished pieces, I've got 2 finishes, and I've got, I think it could be 3 WIPs, which is not many at all, which I will be taking into 2026. So yeah, in a year, I don't think that's too bad. I have attended a day workshop at the Stitchery, which was actually with Sarah, so which is Nikki's sister. We done that was a cross-stitching workshop where I was super lucky enough to meet Sarah from Penelope's Pocket, which was wonderful, and all my lovely friends as well who are on Instagram, you know who you all are. We had such a wonderful day. So that's happened this year. I've had a stitch along with Kerry from Colourfully Cross Stitched. We started a project together. So yeah, I think in the grand scale of things, considering, like I say, that I only entered this world in March, the Flosstube community extravaganza, whatever it's become since March, like I say, that it's not even been a year. So yeah, it's been a journey, and it's been a wonderful journey, and so fun, so creative, and there's some lovely people and so much help and advice out there. And yeah, I have absolutely loved every minute of it, and can't wait for it to continue for hopefully many, many more years, but most certainly going into 2026. So I thought we will, after all this blabbering on, oh, I also forgot to mention as well, amongst all that, I've actually also won 2 giveaways from 2 other Flosstubers. So yeah, like I say, there's been a lot going on since March. So I think I've mentioned these before, but while we're here talking about everything and the joys of what 2025 has brought to me, I won a giveaway from the lovely Helen D, which is Helen D, East Coast Crafter here on Flosstube. I'm sure many of you will know Helen because she's wonderful and does some absolutely fantastic floss tubes and really helpful, some fantastic ones that she gives a lot of good advice and things. So I was super lucky to have won a set of Plum Street samplers. So these were the ones that I won from Helen a couple of months ago. So it's Hello Spring, I'm sure you're all aware of this, Hello Summer, Hello Fall, and Hello Winter. So yeah, I got the 4 of those, which was, oh, I was delighted because I absolutely love those patterns as well, and will really look forward to stitching those. I'm just thinking, actually, I could actually start Hello Spring, couldn't I? Thinking forwards, maybe going into 2026, that'd be a nice one to start. And then from the lovely Mama Loves You GB, I won the Halloween trio, which I was delighted with, because there's even I don't want to give anything. I know there's no pattern there, but there's even some of the buttons, the little tiny buttons that have been used on the pillows. There was even some of those included. So I love them. I loved all my Halloween stitching. So I'll be really, really excited to make those up. Yeah, what a wonderful giveaway. So I was absolutely delighted with both of those, because they are both patterns that I love. I would love to have owned, and obviously now I do. So that was wonderful. So yeah, amongst everything else, managed to win 2 giveaways as well. So it's all been happening, hasn't it? We've had a busy good couple of months. But I must also mention, before I do move on, I want to say a huge thank you to Sian, who most of you all know here again on Flosstube as the periwinkle stitcher. I was lucky enough to meet Sian probably a couple of years ago now at the stitchery. We were on a course with Nikki. And I'd reached out to Sian when I was starting cross stitching. I'd sent a message to her just to sort of ask for some advice. I knew she was really into cross stitching, and I knew she'd be the girl to help, because I didn't have a clue. Starting out with cross stitching, I didn't have a clue, didn't really know anything about fabric, what needles to buy. I didn't know there was different sizes. I was a complete newbie. I really, like I say, I didn't know anything about it. All I know is that obviously with doing my embroidery, I've worked with linen and an embroidery, you know, the fine sort of needles. So I reached out to Sian, and she was really kind, and actually rang me, and we had a good conversation, and she told me exactly where to shop, what to buy. So honestly, I've got a huge thank you to say to Sian, because without your help, Sian, I don't know where I'd be now. So I've got you to thank for starting me off on 36 count linen, which probably would fill most people with dread starting out. So yeah, I didn't go for Ada, you know, I just dived straight in, went straight in for 36 count, which I love now. I use nothing other than that. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, because obviously it was a really good help from the start, because like I say, without knowing anything and not knowing who to turn to really, it meant a lot. So thank you for that, Sian. I've got you to blame now, haven't I? You to blame now for all my purchases and everything else along the way. No, but what a lovely craft to have discovered. I'm absolutely delighted. So yeah, so let's move straight on. So I think what I'll do is I'll just dive straight in, and I'm going to talk you through which ones I finished and when, and I'm just going to show you all of my fully finishes from when I started. So let's have a look. So obviously, as I was just saying, my very first stitch that I started on was Primrose, which was I'm just going to get a board actually, because you'll see it a little bit better. The Bunny, the Stacey Nash, Primrose, Animal Cracker. So I've just put a tiny bit of like a velvet ribbon around her neck. And for my first attempt, not too bad. I mean, I did explain, if anyone's ventured back into any of the earlier videos, I did explain, obviously, she's not very neat. I sewed her by, did I sew her by hand? Or did I try her on the sewing machine? Do you know, I'm not too sure, but anyway, it didn't go awfully well. There are bits that are very neat, and then bits where she could sort of burst her ear at any point, really. So, but other than that, you know, she's not bad. She was just filled with a toy stuffing with the, is it the polyfill? Just a regular toy stuffing. So I don't actually use toy stuffing now for any of my animal crackers. But do you know what? For my first attempt, I don't think she's too bad. The stitches are relatively neat. All the called for colours. She's a cutie, and like I say, she's my first. So I've got her to thank. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, as well, thinking about that, to see how much we have improved really as I suppose even as top class crafters, I suppose we're always learning and changing things. And like I say, I actually haven't used stuffing to stuff any of my other animal crackers. So yeah, that's interesting really, isn't it, to see how much probably I've come on in such a short space of time. So she's number one, literally my number one. So that's where it all began. And then from doing the animal cracker, I went on to do a passing by Plum Street Samplers, and it's called Miss Bingley's Library. And I don't know why I do know why I picked this one. I'd seen it in a video and it was behind someone as they were doing a Flosstube. And again, I have a feeling it could have been Sian. My husband loves reading, he loves his books. And I just thought that would be quite an appropriate stitch. And if it was a new craft I was getting into, I thought, well, hubby might appreciate that one. So we moved on and done Miss Bingley's Library. So there it is. Probably totally uneven, haven't really left an awful lot of gap. I framed it myself. Just coming a little bit closer. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, we're only just sort of getting into the frame there, but you know what, it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. I'm not overly precious about framing and things. You know, they're only going to be in the home, they're only going to be for us to see. They certainly won't be on display anywhere other than us seeing them. So I'm definitely not spending a fortune on getting things framed, and I'm more than happy to have a go and try it myself. And like I say, I know it's tight in the frame, but I am more than happy with that. And this was a big piece. This was a real, considering that it was my second attempt at cross stitching and all I'd gone from was primrose. It was quite a jump, and it was it was something, I tell you. For anyone that followed me from the very beginning on this journey, many lessons were learnt on this project. One being, please always check the colour of your fabric and your floss before starting out, because if you're using white floss on a white fabric, it ghosts very easily. So I did have a complete nightmare with this pattern. I'm not going to go into it too much. If you are interested, then you'll have to excuse the video because it is a very early one, and probably not that this is professional by any means, but I was definitely new to the world of filming and speaking to the camera then. But yeah, it was trouble. It was basically the fabric was too pale for the white. So yeah, after a lot of umming and ahhing and trying different shades, and I only stitch with one strand of floss over two. So I tried 2 strands, and oh yeah, no, it was not going well. But you know what, I'm delighted. Like I say, the second piece finished. So nice to have it fully finished and framed. And I had that done. When did I finish that? So I'd only started it in March, the end of March, and finished it in May. The 14th of May. I'd started it on the 28th of March. Sorry, started it on the 28th of March. Finished it the 14th of May. So that didn't take too long, did it? Because I think I was still working on Bunny as well, so I must have just had them both going around at the same time. So yeah, chuffed with that one. So that was my second finish, which now just stays in our room, on top of the bookshelf where we've got all Kev's books and that. So stays there as a fully finish, which is lovely. Then the next one, obviously with the love of the animal crackers, we moved on to Humphrey, who I still think is, and I hate to say it because I love them all. It's like picking a favourite child, isn't it? We're lucky because we've only got one, but it's like picking your favourite animal cracker. I don't know if I can do it, but I do. I love Humphrey. I just think there's just something about his colours. The colours to me are just beautiful. That is just like my palette, like lovely soft greys, soft pinks, and it all blends, and oh, I just love him. He's not too overstuffed, he's really neat. Even if I do say so myself, I did really improve with the, well, it's a bit weird with the animal crackers. I feel like I go up and down. Sometimes I do them and I think, oh, I've really mastered that. And then other times I do it and think, oh, I don't know, that's not great. But yeah, so that's Humphrey. And as I was saying before, sorry, there's never a good way to stand these little fellas. I switched, so we're now stuffing with walnut shells. So yeah, I switched away from the toy stuffing. So that was my first, that was my first one done with the walnut shells. But like I say, he's got to be my favourite. I love him. I just think he's a lovely design. Love the colours of him. Really happy with the finish. So that is Humphrey. That was the next fully finished. And as you'll get to see, there is a bit of a pattern because I've become a little bit obsessed with the animal crackers. Right, so sorry, bear with, because the whole table is just absolutely full of everything at the moment. So after Humphrey, I had another disaster. I became a member of Patreon. Well, I signed up to some Patreons, but I became a member of the Witchy Stitcher on Patreon because I absolutely love her patterns. I think they're amazing. And there was one that was released called A Graveyard Wonder, and the pattern was incredible. I absolutely loved it. And again, I'm not going to go into detail because I think there's a whole Flosstube that I've recorded all about this, the dramas of this pattern, because I think it nearly pushed me over the edge and probably nearly made me quit cross stitching in such a short space of time. It was a lot went wrong with this one, but now I can say a lot went right with this one, because again, I think this has got to be one of my all-time favourite cross-stitch pieces that I've done so far. I love it. Absolutely love it. Love the pattern. I framed it myself and added these little embellishments along the top of the frame. And there's no glass. I don't put any glass behind my framed pieces. I just love it. I love the pattern so much, and it stays out all year round. It's definitely not going away for Halloween. It's an all year one, I'm afraid. I'm keeping that up, and I am looking and loving that every day. So yeah, really delighted with this one. Like I say, the pattern caused me hell beyond, so much of it had to get frogged, and the material was nearly in pieces. And like I say, there is one of my earlier episodes that goes into detail about that if you're interested. But if not, I don't want to review it again, so I don't blame you for not wanting to. But yeah, I just love everything about it. I think it's a fantastic pattern, and absolutely delighted to have that one finished. So like I say, that is on display all year round. It's in my lounge, it sits there, and I enjoy it every day. That is not going away just for Halloween. So from there, I then moved on to, I don't know why as well, like as if I didn't have enough problems with that, I then decided to do a 1/1 stitch, which was, I don't know, nearly made me go insane again. Yeah, I don't know why. I've definitely not chose the easy route, have I, on my cross stitch journey? I think I choose what I like. And you know what, I do this with my crocheting as well. So I always remember Kerry from Toft. Toft is the brand of the crocheting that I love to do. And I always remember someone saying, what would be the most perfect project for a beginner? Because with Kerry's projects, they're sort of in levels, level 1 being the easiest, and then obviously it moves up a little bit. And I can always remember Kerry saying, don't necessarily pick the easiest. So don't say, oh, I'm a beginner, I'll pick a level 1. Pick what you love. Pick whichever pattern, whichever design, whether it be, well, obviously I'm saying this now, but obviously Kerry means in crocheting, but I think with any project, if you pick what you love, you will persevere and you will get it done. It's Emma's words of wisdom here, she says. But it's so true, because if I didn't love the Graveyard Wanderer pattern as much as I did, it would have been binned, or it would have been put in a bag and never been touched again. But only because I love the pattern so much and I feel like I was so invested in it, it made me continue. And I think that is so true to life. You know, if there's a project that you're not really loving and your heart's not really in it, are you likely to pick it up? Probably not. If it's something that you absolutely adore, you will take the time and you will finish it. And I think that's probably how I felt with those. And then obviously, like I say, going to a 1/1 stitch, I was at my wit's end, but I loved it and I wanted to continue, and I'm not a quitter. I will see something through. So this is actually, it's called Millie Mouse, and it was a brooch, and it was actually in the Strawberry Post, which is a book, quite a thick book, which has got the lovely, so basically they're from the stitchery. Nikki's made them at the stitchery, but they contain some embroidery patterns, some cross stitch patterns, and then maybe some other crafts or some other chit chat about things, you know, crafty. And there's been another one as well that there was a big top bulletin. I think there's only been the 2, oh no, there was a pumpkin. It's been 3 possibly. I think there's been 3 of them so far. I'm not sure whether you can still get them. You can always head over to the Stitchery website and have a look, or inquire about it. So this was a brooch, but I've actually made it. So I had these, I suppose you'd call it like a locket. They open up, and I've just literally attached mine just to a piece of silk, because I actually hang it inside my travel sewing case. So it is a tiny, tiny mouse. Oh, she's so diddy. I hope that's focusing all right there. Hope you can see her. So she's a tiny little mouse holding a basket with some strawberries. And like I say, that was 1/1 on 36 count. So yeah, that was something. That was interesting, that project. That was very interesting. But we did it, we persevered, we finished. So that was another finish. So yeah, why, like I say, I just must be a sucker for all these really awkward, in-depth projects. Nothing straightforward round here. So after Millie Mouse, I then found another pattern which I loved. So this was my start, well, how I discovered Barbara Anna. This was one of her patterns, and I think this was actually a freebie, Strawberry Dreams. And I just thought, with it being a freebie, I thought I'll give it a go. It was a designer that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know many of her patterns at the time. And I always think it's nice sometimes to try something to see whether you like the pattern, whether you like their designs, whether you like the colour choice. So I did, and I loved all of them. So that was my finish, which I have actually fully finished on my travel sewing case. So I made it as the top for that, because once I made it, I was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm going to do with that pattern. It's quite small. I don't know if I wanted it framed, but I loved it and I loved her. So she is the topper for my travel case, and I love her. Absolutely love her. And I did fall in love with the Barbara Anna patterns. I think they're gorgeous. I think the faces, I don't know how, so much detail without being too detailed, if that makes sense. It's crazy what you can do with colour, because really, I mean, her eyes are just literally a line of black crosses, but the shading and the colour really makes it pop. Her little cheeks, and yeah, love it. So that is my travel sewing case, which I'll give you a quick, there's not an awful lot in there at the moment actually. So that's a quick little look inside. So there, my, oh my gosh, what are they called? My pins? What are you? My pins, they are pins, aren't they? Oh my God, my mind's gone blank. My crossed needles. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. They're not pins, they are needles. I was going to say the thing that I used to cross stitch for. So there's two there, two different sizes, 26 and a 28. So they stay in there. Oh God, mine's gone blank. So the Millie Mouse little locket, I actually hang in there because it's so tiny. And then I can leave that open and see her in a glory as I'm working away. And this, I actually had that made at the bottom, the foam. So that is by Pip and Chip, who I get my bobbins from. So all my DMC I have on Pip and Chip bobbins. And I had a project that I was working on, and I wanted something to put my bobbins in because I didn't want them all loose in the bag. So that holds, can't remember how many of that holds in there. But yeah, basically all my little bobbins will just fit in there, which is wonderful. And I've got a magnet on here and little bits and bobs. Like I say, that's my little travel sewing case with my lovely Barbara and a pattern on top, which I love. So that was the next finish. Then from there, so we've done that one. From there, I was also, yeah, it must have been around the same time. So as I was on Patreon, I became, I'm just thinking if this was on Patreon, but I became a member of the Primitive Hair. So I also really like their patterns as well. And I'm just thinking, I can't remember whether this one was on Patreon. I know the Primitive Hair, she has offered it before as a free pattern, I think. I didn't know that at the time. I think it is on Instagram. There was an old post once, and I think if you commented, you could get it as a pattern for free. But I think she'd put it on a Patreon, and that's how I picked it up. So it's called Protection, and it's the crow. I don't think I'd done the whole pattern. No, so what I did, it's just come back to me now. So I think in the chart there was colour inside those bits, but I really liked it as it was. And I think I'd asked on here as well on one of my episodes, did people like it as it was, or should I include the colour? And I think everyone was the same as me. I think it's just because it looks like a silhouette, and it's quite eye-catching, especially, you know, if you look there. So yeah, I left the other colour out, and I've literally just done the black, which I think is more than enough. So yeah, I don't often frame in a hoop either, but I wasn't too sure. It wasn't really a pattern that I'd frame, but obviously I wanted it fully finished. So this has just been out on my autumn display actually. So I did keep it, I've kept it in a hoop, and I've just put a big silk satin bow at the top, which I love. So that's been out on my autumn display. So yeah, I'm really glad that I've kept that as it is. Quite a simple but effective, I think. Simple but effective design. So yeah, like that one. So that is called Protection by the Primitive Hair, which is another finish. Then we went on to Patreon again, which, let me just double check. So again, this was the Primitive Hair, and it's called Potions Mushrooms. And I made it into a pillow finish. Just thinking as well, I don't know whether did I do the whole pattern? I think I just made up my own colours for this one. Because again, it was not going to be anything major, it was only a small. It was my first, just checking, yeah, it was my first pillow finish with my cross stitch. Obviously I've done a lot of pillows in the past with my embroidery, but this was my first finish pillow in cross stitch form. So again, this was just for an autumn display. I wanted to do an autumn display with some cross stitch, so the crow went up, and then this one. so it's got a bit of rickrack around the edge. That's the backing fabric. It is stuffed with the toy stuffing. So all my pillows are all stuffed with toy stuffing. I've never used anything else for the pillows or cushions. A little silk bow which I've attached there on the corner. Quite simple but quite cute. So yeah, really like that one. So like I say, that was another Patreon pattern from the Primitive Hair. I did want to put some pins in the side. Still need to find out about those. So I've seen a lot of people using these gorgeous decorative pins. Sometimes they've got the lovely sort of things on top. I know you can get like Halloween ones. I've got some felt balls as well, which I thought would look lovely, but I'm just really unsure what pins to use. I need to do a bit more research into that. There's a company that I've seen as well that do them, and I know they've done like Halloween ones, and I can't think now what the company is called, and you can get them and they've got like a crow on the top, and yeah, I think they're really cool. I just, like I say, I need to find out where we can get them in the UK as well, how easy they are to get. I have to do a bit of research because I would quite like some of the little decorative pins to go into my pillow finishes. But yeah, really happy with that one. Love the fabric. I think it goes really well with the colour choice. I think it was all just DMC colours, if I can remember correctly, that I just picked. But like I say, that was just for the autumn display really. So that was the next one. Then from there we made bobbin. So we went back to an animal cracker, made bobbin, and now bobbin is actually on a bobbin. She hadn't been on a bobbin for a long time, but there she is, holding a little needle and thread. Cute. So I really like that one. I like her on the bobbin, although she's a bit wobbly. You have to be careful with her. But yeah, it's lovely the way you can finish that, and she's just got the thread going through. So yeah, really happy with that. She stays on display with all her other animal friends. Love, love, love her. So with the animal crackers, stuffed with the walnut shells as well. I think that's probably my go-to now, to be honest. I think all the animal crackers I will stuff with walnut shells. Although I know a lot of people use sawdust. Sarah at Penelope's Pocket, I know when I was lucky enough to meet Sarah and see some of Sarah's finishes, I know she uses sawdust. And when I watched the Stacey Nash class at the Jingle Ball when she was making ginger, she also uses sawdust as well. Whether I'll give that a go, I don't know. I feel like they're quite heavy with the sawdust, quite well packed, but then I suppose they are really with the walnut shells, so I don't know. I might try one, but I do like the walnut shells, and I've not had a problem so far with them, touch wood. So bobbin was the next completed one. Then from bobbin we went back to the Witchy Stitcher. So she had a pattern, or she's got a pattern, sorry, called the Apothecary Shop, and I loved it. I just loved it. I thought it was great, and I knew straight away what fabric I wanted, and then as I'd done it, I was really lucky. I knew exactly how I was going to finish it. So there is the Apothecary. I love it. Absolutely love this one. And again, this is going to be one that stays out all year round. So I've got a big black mantelpiece inside, and that just sits on top. It looks so cool. I love it. Yeah, really, really happy with this one. Sometimes as well, there's something just really satisfying for just using one colour, isn't there? One colour, just working with that one. Yeah. No need to worry about colour changes or anything. It was just nice and easy. And this is actually on a box, just a wooden, it's a tray, sorry, a wooden tray that I got from Hobbycraft. Our Hobbycraft was shutting down sadly a couple of months ago, and they had these trays, and there was about, I think you get 3, there's 3 in a pack, so this being the biggest, there's another one in there. Is this the biggest? I'm doubting myself now. I think so. I think that's the biggest one. And then basically there was 3, so there's 3 different sizes, some smaller, and I just thought, oh, I wonder if that'd fit. So I sprayed, I've left the back because no one is ever going to see the back, so I sprayed all the edges, sprayed them all black. The sign fitted perfectly, absolutely perfectly, and then right round the edge, I don't know whether you can see it there, whether it's picking it up, all around the edge is just twine. So you know the brown twine you can buy, nothing special, just literally from the craft store, or oh gosh, I think you can get it anywhere. I think they've had it all over. They've had it in the works, in B&M. Sometimes you can use it to like string, you know, like you were wrapping presents up and things. But I've just, you can see there because it's coming away a little bit there. I've just gone round it with black. I think it was ink or a pen. I've just literally rubbed a bit of black round it because I didn't want it brown, and I've just hot glue gunned all around the edge, just so it wasn't raw, just to give it a little, because obviously I didn't want a huge big like lacy frill or anything like that around it. It just needed something to sort of blend it in from the linen to the wood. So yes, super happy with that one. Like I say again, this is going to be this is definitely going to be an all year rounder. This isn't going away for Halloween. So really happy with that one, really happy to have that finished. So that was the Witchy Stitcher. Then from there, there's a Flosstube that I love to watch. It's Jennifer's. It's the, let me make sure I just get this right. So it's the Little Paper Bear Co. That's on Flosstube. It's Jennifer, but it's her channel is called Little Paper Bear Co. And Jennifer has released some of her own patterns. She hopes to release more in the future, but she's made some that were like, they look like a tiny stamp. So they are only small, but there was one that she made and it was called Spooky Greetings. It was a Halloween one, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved the pattern, I loved everything about it, and I just thought it was so cute. So this is how I fully finished it. So let me just see, if I block that out, you might be able to see a bit more there. So that's the stamp, which is great. So it says boo. Does it say? Yeah, it says boo, and it's got the number 13 in the corner, obviously for Halloween. So I love this, and I love the finish. So I really like Tim Holtz. I love his things and all his embellishments. Yeah, I love it. So it's not, well, it's not too bad to get it in the UK, but I think it's a lot more popular, as things are a lot more popular in America and places. But so I had a couple of these little embellishments. So that one says, I'm looking backwards, I think it says Haunted Spirits. Yeah, Haunted Spirits, and then it says 999 underneath it. And Dearly Departed. So yeah, so all it is, I'll turn it around. So it's from a shadow box. So those were the little tiny boxes that come in it. So it was just literally one of those. And then the edging, again, I think it was Tim Holtz, one of the frames that he does. And it just managed to fit and glue on the box. Like I say, I'm not bothered about the back. No one's going to see that. I'm only showing you so you can see how I've done it. And then obviously that gives me the frame around, because the actual cross stitching is stuck on the shadow box, it fitted on there, and then the frame I could put around it to then sort of decorate. But yeah, for Halloween it's a cutie, isn't it? So love that one. So yeah, go and check Jennifer out, because I love that pattern, love it. And it's digital as well, so it doesn't matter where you are, you don't have to worry about postage and things. It's just a digital one From there, I then went on to back to an animal cracker because I'm just going to keep going until I've got a whole zoo full in the house, basically. I made Dr. Raven. So this all must have been kind of around Halloween. I must have been in that spooky kind of vibe. So here he is, Dr. Raven. Love this one. Love, love, love. Again, stuffed with walnut shells. Sorry, this is a bit awkward to hold there to show, but you get the gist. It's a fab. Yeah, now he's quite stuffed. He's quite a chunky raven. He's well stuffed with his walnut shells. And then I'd made, I'd made his little, like the lantern that goes with it. But I know I'd spoken one of my other floss tubes. I'd used a different material, a different linen than what I'd used for Raven, which was a bit silly because it doesn't really match. I don't know why I'd done that. So yeah, I don't know whether you're supposed to hold him, you're supposed to kind of attach it on. I just don't know if I love the fact that that's a different colour linen. I know you can't see an awful lot of him, but I don't know, I'm a bit weird when it comes to things like that. I'd kind of like it to match, so I haven't attached it. And I could, I mean, this is tiny, it's a tiny make. I could always restitch that one in all fairness, in the colour to match and then attach. And that, I have actually just stuffed that with, there was me saying before I hadn't used toy stuffing. I have actually used toy stuffing in that, I think just because it's tiny and I didn't really want that heavy, because if he is going to hold it, I don't want it to pull on the material. But yeah, so that kind of just goes next to it. I mean, it doesn't really need that. It was just the extra that comes in the pattern. But yeah, so that's Raven. Gorgeous. Love him. Always loved that one. So yeah, again, I don't know whether, I suppose I'll have to keep him out as well. I know, is he Halloween? I'm not sure. Or is he an all year? I don't like putting the things away once I've made them. I think that's the trouble. I want them out on display all the time. So that was Dr. Raven. Then we must have been getting into Christmas mode then, I think. Because from then, I've gone on and made Ho Ho Ho. No, I don't know whether that is what the pattern's called, and I haven't got the pattern with me. It's with our needle and thread, and it's this cushion. I know I've showed this again in one of my other episodes. I love with thy needle and thread patterns. I think I'm going to put it out there, that is definitely one of my all-time favourite designers. With thy needle and thread, Brenda Gervais, I adore. It's just, they are like gold dust to get them here in the UK. There is so many of her patterns that I would love, but there's just no chance. There's no chance here in the UK, so I have to be very, very lucky to try and pick them up on the second-hand market. Yeah, and just do my hardest to try and snatch them when I can, because I love them. They're adorable. But yeah, I was lucky enough to have this one. So again, made into a pillow finish. Same backing actually, same fabric that I'd used. I just think it really goes well with the colours, and that was one of the ruched, that's the word I'm looking for, ruched trim, that I ruched it up myself and just attached that. Yeah, love it. I did change some of the colours. Again, I've spoke about it in past episodes, so I won't ramble on too much, but the colour that was called for Santa's coat was very, very orange, very orange. In fact, I took it with me to the stitchery when I went on the workshop there, and we were, all of us, there was about, I don't know how many of us women all gathered round in a circle, all sort of talking the colours and threads and looking for alternatives. And yeah, everyone said, even though it is a primitive design, and I know sometimes people go more orangey than red and things, but this was orange. This was definitely not a Santa's coat colour. So I went through a week's dye works, changed that, and the white as well. So the called for, I think it might have been eggshell. by Classic Colour Works, possibly, but it was very yellow. Now I know dye lots change and things, so maybe over time, so I think this is quite an old pattern, but it was yellow, yeah, and we didn't want yellow snow. That was not a good move. So I did pick a white, which I'm more than happy with. I know the snowflakes ghost a tad. I mean, I don't know how it's showing there on camera. I can see them, but they are ghosty, but I am fine with that. I love that. I like that look. And you can see the snow and see his coat. So yeah, love that one. So this will have to be going away soon, I'm afraid. Although it breaks my heart, I don't think I can keep a Christmas pillow up throughout the year, can I? I have to draw the line at that one. So that was Ho Ho Ho. Then, so it must have been around that time I'd then gone on my workshop to Nikki's, and we were making chili, the penguin and the snowman. So ta-da, there they are, finished in their glory. He's well stuffed. He is very well stuffed with walnut shells. You can hear the little jingle. So there he is, there's Chili with the little bell. This was all provided from Sarah. So she gave us everything, the pattern, the linen, the little bells, the silk ties. We got everything that we needed, all the threads. It was a wonderful day. If you're in the UK, I highly recommend checking out their workshops down in Northampton. If anyone can get there, it's the most special place. It's beyond words. It's the most gorgeous place, the stitchery. But yeah, he's a cutie. So all called for colours. The only thing was that I do, as I just mentioned, I do 1/1. No, I don't. I do 1/2. Definitely don't want to do 1/1 again. Millie the Mouse put me off that one for sure. I do 1 strand of floss over 2. Now, Sarah had also done the same as me. But then when she'd read the pattern, I think it actually says to do 2 strands over 2 for the white for his body, but I didn't. I don't personally like working with 2 strands. I find it too thick, too bulky, and too much of an intense colour. So I still stuck, even if the instructions said to do it, I didn't. I still stuck to the 1 strand, and I'm more than happy with the way he's turned out. So there's Chili, and then we managed to finish his little pal, the snowman, again with a little jingly bell. If I pop that there, can you see? Oh, cute. So he's got his silk tie. He could be hung up, his little bell. So yeah, finished both of those 2 together just in time for Christmas, so they've been out on display. Then from there I moved on. Now this was again Stacey Nash, but it actually wasn't an animal cracker, so it was the hedgehog pincushion. And I'd bought the kit, I got the whole lot. I think I got that from Sarah. So I had the pattern, the floss, even the Lady Dot Creates velveteen, which is used for the needle book. I have got everything, and I stitched hedgehog, and then I just thought, I just didn't know whether I could be bothered making a needle book, and I knew I probably wouldn't use the needle book, so I didn't know what to do. I kind of ummed and ahed. Anyway, I actually thought that I would make hedgehog into my own animal cracker. So although he's not technically an animal cracker, he is now. He's my animal cracker. So he's hedgehog, and he's tiny. He is still backed in the velveteen, in the Lady Dot Creates velveteen, because I had it. It was part of the kit, and I thought, oh, why not? So yeah, diddy. Oh, so little hedgehog's gonna join the family of animal crackers. Like I said, I thought, do you know what? Like I said, I wouldn't use the needle book. And I thought, no, you can join the other family. So yeah, we've made Hedgehog. So Hedgehog was a non-animal cracker who is now an animal cracker. And from Hedgehog, I think this is my last finish. Again, with Thy Needle and Thread pillow, it is Jolly Happy Soul, and another pillow finish, which I adore. Same backing. I thought because they kind of like the same, not the same pattern, but the same kind of theme, I've gone for the same edging and the same backing, finished them in both the same ways, which I adore. And again, all this ruched trim. So this is, I don't actually know what it's called. This was from the Stitchery Sisters website. So it's Sarah that sells it. And it's like a silk, they're like silk pieces. It's called American something binding, I'm not sure. If you have a look, she might still have some on her website. But she said to me, if you wet it and scrunch it, it will scrunch and you kind of get this look. So that's what I did. I dampened it down, squished it all up really tight and let it dry, and then it automatically ruches up, and then I've just gone along and tacked it all. But yeah, love. And then this time I've added a little bulb, a bulb pin, is that what they're called, with a tiny embellishment of a snowflake, and that just sits there in the corner. But yeah, gorgeous, love this pattern. Again, another with Thy Needle and Thread, which I adore. So yeah, I'll be really sad to see these ones get taken down for another year. So yes, so that was my last finish. So not bad going really, was it? So did we say 17? I think it was 17 altogether. Yeah, 17 fully finishes, which I am delighted with, absolutely delighted. For my first year of cross stitch, well, it's not even been a year, has it? But for my first lot of cross stitching, I made up, and then I have got 2 more finishes, it's just they're not fully finished. So I will show you these. So this was, as I mentioned at the start, I had a start along this year with Kerry from Colourfully Cross Stitched. We both decided that we wanted to start the Difference Between Medicine and Poison by the Witchy Stitcher. And I am pleased to say it is finished. Sorry, I know it's quite hard to hold. But yeah, there it is. So again, we've both gone for something completely different. I couldn't work on dark fabric. I had a nightmare. I just can't stitch on dark fabric. And I've tried every single thing that was suggested to me. I had lovely comments and lovely advice, but I couldn't do it. It was too dark. I couldn't see the holes. There was just no way I was going to be able to do it. So I picked this fabric, and again, should have really learnt a lesson after doing my very first, my Miss Bingley's library. This will be one thing I think that Emma needs to be taken into 2026 as one of her lessons. Please check your floss on your fabric. Because I am fully aware that there are bits on here that are completely blending in. They are really ghosting. I mean, when I showed this on my Flosstube, I've had some lovely comments. A lot of people have said to me, Emma, don't worry, it's perfect. It looks like it's an old bottle. It gives that effect of it being aged, which is great. You know, I'm not going to backstitch it. I am happy. It's just, I mean, you can see it. You know, obviously me looking at it, I can see it. But it's just, it's not as popping as I would have liked it. Obviously it says the difference. So difference is quite, I think because there's colour changes in there as well. But it does say the difference between medicine and poison and then that says is in the dose. It's picking up a little bit better there. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm not backstitching it, I'm not worrying about it. It was a mammoth project for me. It was so time consuming. There was so much like bitty stitching, so like you do a bit and then you'd skip a bit and then you do a bit more, and there was so many colour changes. I mean, looking at it, it looks like there's nothing, because it's like, oh yeah, it's just a bit of writing, and it was hard. It was for me anyway. It was hard going. It was it was a lovely pattern. It was just, yeah, it was something. It took a long time. So I'm not stressing over it. I'm not worrying over it. I love it. I just need to decide what I'm going to do with it. I've had it finished now for probably about, I don't know, maybe about 2 months, and I just don't know what to do with it. I think maybe just frame this one, because it's quite a decent size as well. Yeah, I don't know, maybe put this one on a frame. Like I say, I don't have to worry too much, because that's definitely a Halloween one. That won't be out, I don't think, until Halloween, so I don't have to worry too much. And then my last one I was working on, so I'd only started this one quite recently. I think I may have mentioned it in my last Flosstube. I think I'd started working on it. It's the, let me just check, it's the Scarlet House. It's a pattern by the Scarlet House, and it's called Ho Ho Ho. The pattern says Ho Ho Ho, and then at the very bottom there's like a tartan check, and it says Merry Christmas. I did talk about this in my last episode, because I'd mentioned that I personally was not a huge fan of the tartan across the bottom. So I thought, I'm just going to do a real quick, easy, I just like the Ho Ho Ho. The O are baubles, like Christmas baubles, and I really wanted to try working with silk. I've never ever used silk before. I had a pack of Eau Verissoir, and I had two other colours. Is it ITO or IKO? Again, it's all on the last episode if you are interested, but I bought these lovely silks and was dying to give them a go. So I have finished, well, I've done my finish of Ho Ho Ho, and I love it. I hope the camera is picking that up, of how gorgeous the colours are and the threads. My gosh, I could easily, I think, be converted to silks. No, they're different, aren't they? They're very different to work with. They are, I found them extremely silky, which obviously is a given in the name, the silk. But I did find them very slippery. Quite a couple of times as I'd pull through, it would pull through out of the needle. They're so incredibly soft, but glorious. They're absolutely gorgeous. So I just love, I love it. I think the black is just, I don't know, it's so crisp and sharp. So the black was an Eau Verissoir, and the baubles are, so there's just two colours, there's the green and the gold. But then what I've done, so the very top of the bauble, I don't know how well it will pick it up on camera, but the very top of the bauble, and then there's bits, there's tiny black bits in, I was going to say, is it in all of them? I don't know whether it is in all of them. It's definitely in the first one and the last one. I don't know whether it's in the middle one, but if there is a tiny, you can see there, the tiny bit of black, and then the top was an Eau Verissoir, but it was a metallic, so it's kind of got, I think it was like a silver sparkle in it, and I just used that just to give a different, just so it wasn't the plain black. Like I say, you can hardly see it. I mean, even here to the eye, you've really got to look for that bit of sparkle to try and pick it up. But yeah, I love it. So I'm definitely going to leave it as it is. It's just going to say ho, ho, ho. And I'm going to make it into a long skinny cushion. I think that'll look fab. So maybe, let's just see. Oh yeah, maybe something like that. Kind of. Yeah, so it'll be about that shape, be about that size. In fact, that's probably perfect. I need to pin that there now. I love that. So it's just going to be like that, just going to be made into a pillow. Probably maybe with some edging around it. But yeah, love it. So that'll be another one. So I just need to finish that off. I actually really like it that size. I wonder if I can try and press it down to... yeah, that'll be great. So I'll probably try and get that made up fairly soon. And then it can go away with all the Christmas decorations then for next year. It's a shame it's not really been able to be out on display, but hey ho. It doesn't matter. We've got it for next year. So I just need to fully finish that one. My gosh, sorry guys, we're over an hour already. I didn't know it would be this long. So that is fully finishes, 17, I think I counted, 17 fully finishes, 2 finishes, and then I'll quickly just show you my WIP. So I'm not going to show the patterns, I'm not going to show too much in detail because, you know, we talk about these quite a bit. So this is the Barbarana, the Mad Hatter Dreams. Got to see this one through, love this one. Again, look at the face. Oh, something about her faces that she does are just glorious. So I'm probably about nearly halfway, probably. I love it. I'm going to get that one finished. So that one is coming through with me to 2026. The next one is, so this was a pattern from Etsy. This has not had an awful lot of work on. Is it something about book a night? Let me just say. That was the pattern, sorry. I've only printed in black and white. So that was the pattern. And oh, I've hardly worked on this one. I don't know why, because I do actually really like the pattern as well, but it's completely crumpled and been completely forgotten about, I'm afraid. And that is, I mean, I love it already. So yeah, that's just, I don't know why that has not had much love at all this year. So that's going to come through with me to 2026. They'll be finished, they will be finished, because I do like them. I've just got to get working on them. And then my other animal cracker is nettle. So that's as far as I've got with nettle at the moment, which absolutely looks bizarre, doesn't it, the way that is. So yeah, that's going to be my next animal cracker. So that is 3, is that right? 3 whips. Oh gosh, I'm dropping everything here. Yep, so they're all the whips that I've been working on. Oh no, one more, sorry, one more. Stitchery Sisters, the Nordic heirloom sampler, is that right? Oh, this is going to be a lovely one as well. Very Christmassy. Really like this one with all the little motifs. So I've got a long way to go on this one. Yeah, there's no two ways about it. It has still got a lot of stitches to go on that one. So, which is fine, that's absolutely fine. That's again is going to come through with me into the new year. Sorry, I'm just going to lean over and get that one bag that I've just dropped on the floor. So I haven't actually got an awful lot of whips at the moment, so which is kind of good because obviously they can be worked on. But I was thinking last night as well. Now, for anyone that knows me knows that I don't really make an awful lot of plans. I never really know what I want to stitch on. I kind of just pick things up as I go along. I don't follow any certain months I have to work on certain projects. I know a lot of people do that, but I kind of just go with the flow and pick what I want to be working on. But I was thinking last night, and I thought it would actually be really nice to think ahead and have some projects that I know that I'll be able to display. Like I really like sort of like the themed things, like I always do a display at Easter, or just, you know, obviously things are out for Christmas. So I thought for each sort of event or occasion, it would be nice to maybe have some stitching done. So I kind of had that idea in my head and thought, well, maybe I do need to have a rough plan of thinking about what I'd like sort of coming up. So I did sit down last night and go through a couple of projects. Now, obviously, I'm going to work on all my WIPs that I've just shown, because I do really want them done. But I was thinking as well, so probably the next thing's going to be Valentine's, isn't it? And I've got this pattern, Love Notes, by With Thy Needle and Thread. So again, just sorry about the glare. Small pillows that would go in a display, and I thought, oh, they'll be great. Be nice to have something maybe for Valentine's. So I started looking at that last night and getting some colours. A lot of the colours, I think nearly all of the colours I've got in anyway, because they're all DMC. So I've got all those at the ready, got the colours. I haven't even looked at linen yet. It probably won't be what it's called for, because I tend to just use whatever linen I've got in stash. So I did think that that would probably be a good one to start early new year. So like I say, ideally I'll need them doing by February. So I'll probably do, I know they're not overly big, they shouldn't take too long, but I would like to obviously have them finished. Then I know we are still kind of in Christmas mode, but I do also need to think, if I want to have more Christmas finishes for me to be able to display next year, then I probably do need to still be working on Christmas projects throughout the year. And this is one of the new, again, With Thy Needle and Thread, this is one of the new ones that's just been released, which I was really, really lucky to get. Now, some of these, the new patterns made it to Peakside Needleworks website, and I was really lucky to manage to pick up some of these. So I did think I could possibly do those, the 3 pillows, but I looked last night and I haven't got an awful lot of the colours, and I always get a bit confused with sort of trying to pick my own colours, and yeah, I don't know, I'm not great at that. I don't really have an eye for, people are really good sometimes, aren't they, at picking their own colours and things. I'm not wonderful, so I may need to have to order colours for those. But like I say, this is just a rough guess, you know, like I might not work on that, I might change my mind, I might just leave that for another month or two, but we'll see. And then for, well, this is actually funny, so it was actually for a Christmas present, so this was from my auntie, and it's a Mirabilia. So my gosh, she picked really well. She doesn't know anything about what I cross stitch, what I work on, so I was really, really surprised to see this, because I thought, gosh, she just picked really well. So yeah, I've never ever done one of these. I've never done a Mirabilia before, but there it is. It's lovely. It is a lovely one as well. It's called the Stargazer. For anyone that wants to know, it's the Stargazer by Nora Corbett. So I think this is going to be a mammoth task in itself, because I thought last night I would look at kitting it up, and honestly, already, like, the colours, I was like, oh, on a positive, they're all DMC, but my gosh, there is so many, like, 20, 29, 29 DMC colours. Oh my gosh, how? And it does, I'm not gonna lie, it does fill me with dread slightly. It's just bringing back the memories of the Graveyard Wanderer and all the colour changes, because I'm guessing that on each row there's probably going to be, oh, I dread to think, but it is beautiful. It is a lovely pattern, and it would be lovely to attempt to do one of these. I've seen a lot of people stitching these, so yeah, why not, might as well. Like I said, I think I've probably got all of the colours, so I just need to pick a linen, have a look in stash. So yeah, watch this space with that, that's all I can say. She is there as a maybe half kitted up, half not. We'll see what happens with that one. And very quickly, I won't go through all Christmas things and that, but I did manage to get, so this was what I was just talking about, the edging that is used. So these were from Sarah from the Stitchery Sisters, and this is the edging. So that is what I use when I ruffle. That's what I was talking about before. So see, they're just long straight pieces, but if you dampen them and scrunch them, that's what gives the ruffled effect. So these were just 2 different colour packs that she had in stock, so I just grabbed one of each. So there's all different colours, but I mean, obviously some of those are really dark, but then they'd be great for the likes of Halloween and things, wouldn't they? So yeah, I just grabbed those 2 because they're always handy to have in. Like I said, I really like those for edging. Then what else? So I've got some embroidery. I won't go through the embroidery today, but I've got some gorgeous Nikki does, oh, it's a Christmas Eve box basically, and it's a wreath, and they're all elves, like Santa's little elves doing like working and things, and basically it's going to be a collection. So I stitched one a while ago. This was the second one. I'll just quickly show there. Oh, so cute. So they're getting all the presents ready and all the decorations. So I've got, that's the second one that hubby had got and put it away for me. And then a set, which was this brand new, this Christmas Eve box, which is just glorious. Comes with this little bag, and you get the hoop and the scissors and the needle. And it also did come with, separate in the box was a was there a candle with this one? Yeah, a candle, lovely candle, and a mug, Stitchery mug, which are gorgeous. They do all different patterns and designs with some sweets. There's always a little, some chocolate goodies in there. And then this is the next wreath. I'm not going to undo it all, but oh, it's called Flight Prep. So look, they're actually getting sleigh ready on this one. Oh, amazing. So I'm going to be a busy bee. I've got a lot to work on. See, I don't just cross stitch either. I've got other crafts and hobbies that I like to do. So yeah, I am certainly going to be a busy bee. So that's 2 gorgeous embroidery projects that I'll be working on. Alfie has kindly, oh, I don't know how he knew that I would like this. So I've actually got a book of days. Never, ever, ever had a book of days. Whether I'm going to stick to using the book of days, I'd like to think so. I really hope so. The only thing I do always do is in a little notebook, I always write down my projects, always write down what I've worked on. I write the date, I write what the pattern's called, who's the designer, what fabric I've used, what colours I've used, the date I've started it and the date I finish it. So I always keep that in a little notebook, just for my own personal preference, just to see how long projects have taken me to work on. If there's a fabric that I like, I always know that it's wrote down, so I can always go back and think, right, love that fabric for such and such project, what was it, I can't remember, and it's always wrote down. But I've never had a diary, an actual diary. So as of tomorrow, I will be able to write in this, whatever my new year start is going to be. But yeah, I love it. Really happy with this. It's yeah, it's lovely. I'm really looking forward to using this one. And like I say, hopefully it'll just help journal and everything that little bit easier, and it might keep me on track when I'm doing my floss tubes and prompt me into letting you know what I've been up to, what I've been working on and what day. So I've got that as well, which I am thrilled with. And just before I go, there was one Christmas present this year that I would like to share with you. It was, my brother got me this for Christmas, and it is Sarah. So it's Nikki's sister Sarah, the Stitchery sisters. She released her first Christmas box, and this is it. And it is absolutely gorgeous. Hands down, I think it is one of the most beautiful gifts I've ever had. So I'm just going to open it. So this is how it came. So it wasn't an advent, it wasn't sold as, sounds silly saying it wasn't sold as a Christmas box, but it wasn't, Sarah had said from the start, so we didn't know what was going to be in it. It was a surprise, but she'd said from the start that it wasn't going to be a Christmas pattern. So it, you know, if you weren't into Christmas, or if you didn't want to stitch anything over or during Christmas, it didn't matter. It wasn't going to be anything Christmas related. So it's basically just like the most gorgeous Christmas present to you or to a friend, but you didn't have to worry about it being Christmassy. And like I say, it wasn't an advent, so you didn't have to worry about opening it on certain days. So I actually got this on Christmas Day, like this was my present. So it didn't matter. It was just, yeah, but it was absolutely glorious. So it's got the tissue paper, but then it did have all of these bags that were numbered, and I was like, that confused me a bit at first, because I was thinking, I'm sure this wasn't an advent calendar, but my gosh, it is absolutely stunning. So at the bottom as well, Sarah's included this little tiny card which basically says all what it includes. So it goes through every number, and I'm going to show you. If you're not interested in looking through this, then that's fine. You can whiz to the end or say goodbye to me now. But I just thought, if you're into cross stitching, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be, she's going to re-release the, well, obviously it'll be a new one, but I really hope that she releases another one again for next Christmas, because it's special. It is special. It's beautiful. So the pattern was at the very bottom. So we didn't know what the pattern was, but I'm going to just show you the pattern straight away because I've got it here to hand. So it's the Stitchery Sisters, the Heirloom Collection, and it's called the Little Red House Sampler, Pincushion, Needlebook and Sampler. So that is the first, well, that's the cover page. And I'm just going to see, I'll just see if I can show you. So like I say, it doesn't matter that it's not, obviously it isn't Christmas related. So there you go. How lovely. I haven't stitched samplers before, but that is the sampler that we'll be stitching. which is just so cute. So that's the sampler. Then there's so much in here. There's like pages and pages of the pattern, so I've just got to be careful that I don't give anything away. Then there's a bit here, and it's got all like the most fantastic in-depth instructions. Then this is how to make into a pincushion. So if you can see there, there's pictures there. If you want to make the pincushion, a page with all the threads, what's needed, the pincushion, I think that's it. I think that might be all I can show picture wise. Yeah, but there's pages, like I say, it's like a whole booklet there full of everything. So that is the pattern that we were lucky enough to get. Then what I'll do is I'll quickly, let me put this away now so it's not all over the place. I'll quickly go through the box with you. So let me just see, did I keep these in order? Right, number 1. So number 1 is, it says on our sheet here, number 1 is the little red house floss drops and a charm for you to put your threads on. So look at that. Oh, how cute. So there it is, there's the house. And there, if anyone does like working with the floss drops, the Stitchery Sisters. And then it says on the back, it says designer, pattern and thread. So obviously you can write on whatever it is you're working on. And it says the beauty of needle and thread. That's the back. So that was in parcel number 1. And like I say, these weren't, it wasn't an advent, it was just, everything was in its own little bags. And yeah, it was lovely. It was such a gorgeous gift. It's like the gift that just kept carrying on, because you were like, oh, another parcel and another parcel. So I'm just seeing, it would have helped if I'd have actually kept the bags in order, wouldn't it? Number 2, oh, it's because some are bigger. So this was number 2. And this is, again, I've never had one of these. It's a grime guard. So for anyone that uses the Q-snap, and I 100% guess that these have all been made at the Stitchery. So Nikki, Sarah and Mum, I bet anyone working there have made these, which is just, oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So a grime guard, which I have got Q-snap as well, so I'll be looking forward to using that. It smells beautiful as well. Everything smells so lovely in here. So that was number 2. Number 3, which again was great. I'm really looking forward to using this. It's the Stitchers lotion, which will be fantastic, because I tell you why. When I was using silks the other day, I didn't realise, my gosh, there was just a tiny bit of the skin near my thumb, and it would snag and catch on it every time. So I really could have done, I've not used it yet, but boy could I have done with that the other day. So that is number 3. Number 4, let me just pull this one out. Number 4 is needle threader, but look at that. Lovely design, and again all in these gorgeous Stitchery Sisters packages. So yeah, a needle threader, that was number 4. Number 5, a needle minder. So the Stitchery Sisters, gorgeous wooden, sorry about the glare, gorgeous wooden needle minder. Is that number 5? Number 6. Number 6 is chenille yarn for finishing. Just say chenille yarn for finishing your projects. It's so soft. Oh, Absolutely gorgeous and what lovely colours. So I guess there if you want to edge anything. Oh, lovely. So yeah, like what's there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colours there. Beautiful. So that was bag number 6. Bag number 7. Again, this was something that I didn't have, but I'll be interested to try. So it's white magnets to secure your fabric. So when you've got extra fabric sometimes at the side, you can just put these on and keep it out of the way. So yeah, 2 great white magnets. And again, really useful things that I've really I'm looking forward to trying these. Then what else did we get? Oh, these. So this is what smells absolutely. Oh, if you could smell it. So they're botanical wax melts, and it's Dorset Sands, and it says Merry Christmas from the Stitchery Sisters. Gorgeous little packet there of wax melts that smell beautiful. Then we also got chocolates, of course. Why not? So this lovely bag. These are dark chocolate Rolos with salted caramel filling, and it says we always need a sweet treat when we're stitching. We do, but we just do need to remember to either wash our hands or don't spill chocolate on pale fabric, like I am quite often doing. I'm very guilty of that. So they were in there, all the threads, all the Weeks Dye Works threads that are needed for the project. The only thing that we could pick was the count of linen that we wanted. So again, I'm a 36 kind of girl. So this is 36 count. It's picture this plus vellum. So gorgeous. No doubt it would be a huge big piece of linen. And then ended with the most gorgeous little tiny jute bag. Stitchery Sisters jute bag. So isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So we can put everything in there. I mean, all my stuff's just staying in the box anyway at the moment. But what an absolute treat. I thought that was absolutely stunning. And I must message Sarah actually. I haven't spoke to her yet over this festive period, but I must send her a message and let her know. I am absolutely, or if you hopefully Sarah you're watching this and you stayed till the end, absolutely love, well done. Huge congratulations on your first box, and I really hope it's the first of many because it is absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So Flossy friends, oh my gosh, that is it. I'm so sorry I've kept you for over an hour and a half. But we needed to round up 2025 with all the crafty cross-stitching goodness, didn't we? And I think I've covered everything. So what's left to say? Thank you. Thank you again so much. Thank you all for being here. Anyone that can help me grow my channel and growing and going forwards into 2026, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much for your kind words. Keep commenting, keep liking, keep asking me questions. Reach out to me on Instagram, send me an email. I don't know how much advice I can give because I'm fairly new to this myself, but I'm always there for a chat or for some friendly anything, chit chat, advice, whatever you want. Yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you, and hopefully 2026 will include plenty more crafting, plenty more stitching, and more fun and games. The only thing that I've got booked next year is the Big Stitch, which will be incredible. I am so unbelievably excited for that. I can't wait. So that is that June or July? I can't remember. And yeah, when I found out who's going to be there as well, it's blown my mind even more. So I think I need to start saving my pennies now, because that is going to be it's going to be one heavy hit, I think. It's going to be dangerous, should we just say. So we've got that booked. Sarah is doing some more Stacey Nash workshops. I think there's 2 more that are on the website that I need to look at, because I would obviously love to attend those as well. Other than that, I don't think I've got any other plans. So I'll love you and leave you all, wishing you very, very happy, healthy New Year. Thank you all so much for being here this year. It's meant a lot and it's got me through. There's been some sad times this year for us as a family. I'm not going to dwell on it. I want to leave on a happy note, but it's been a tough year, 2025. But we want to leave on a high. There's been some very happy memories as well, and some good times. So yeah, let's leave it there. Wishing you all very happy New Year. Thank you very much for being here with me on this journey. Mwah. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all soon. See you in 2026. Bye.